Merrifield will get the start, and he will be playing in left field today. And then you've got the hot hitters in Kane, Perez, and Orlando. Tyler Duffy is the right-hander on the hill for Minnesota, and he has probably, along with Irvin Santana, been their two most consistent pitchers.
Well, he's been consistent, but he's not overpowering. He's going to have great command to beat the red-hot Royals. He's not overpowering at all. Average fastball velocity 89 miles an hour. Curveball and a change. 3-pitch guy. There's not any Royals have ever faced him before, so this will be a test for him. Escobar doesn't phase him. He's already hacking at that first pitch.
And there's the very good curveball that he has, and that is his best pitch, and he throws it almost 40% of the time.
Yep, it's going to be fastball curveball combination, occasional changeups if he can get later in the game, second, third time through.
Young right-hander out of Houston, Texas, just 25 years of age. This time Eske does not bite on that breaking ball. He's pitched extremely well this year until his last start, when he gave up 6 runs in 5 2/3 innings against the Blue Jays. And that is punched up the middle and into left center field. Escobar is on.
Great 2-strike approach. Not trying to do too much, just meet it, just like he did to lead off the game last night. He did the similar swing, except he hit a double. This time here he feathers it right by the shortstop Escobar, Eduardo Escobar. And by looking at the surface and talking with Alcides Escobar, the turf here, the grass, the infield, very hard. It's fast. Balls like that get through.
Now Whit Merrifield, who's had a very good start, 6 for 18 in his young career, and half of those hits have been doubles. Strike one.
Oh, he's got really good speed. That's the extra star by his name. You have that skill, and you can play to go along with all those other positions you can play. And the fact that he uses the middle of the field, he's dangerous.
To third, they go second one. Dozier with the turn, not in time. There's the speed you were talking about, huh?
Dozier, good turn, nothing you can do but speed beat it. Tyler Duffy, he's gonna double up his curveballs. He might throw them 3 times in a row. This guy talked about how much of a high percentage he uses that pitch. Won't be long if that ball starts coming out a little bit higher on the letters. It's going to be a good pitch to hit.
Duffy with almost a quick pitch, just as Merrifield was taking his lead at first base. Whit was a very good base stealer at AAA Omaha, 16 for 17.
He's going to get a little sinking action to his fastball, but I mean, you know, that's a basic heater. It's average at best. And if it's up in the zone, as hot as the Royals are, he'll have a tough time.
He'll be tough to steal on, though, with that real short, abbreviated step.
Yeah, he has quick feet and he's quick home. He's got a slide step he uses as well, so he might make it tough on a base stealer today.
How about our golden oak lending keys to the game?
G is the key for sure. How about that? We got to have him out there going at least 5 innings. His pitch counts up over 90, and don't let off the gas offensively if you're the Royals hitters. Keep the pressure on him.
Royals 17 runs, 30 hits in the first 2 games of this series. Merrifield dives back safely. There is Dylan G, who will make his 3rd start for the Royals because of the injuries suffered by Chris Young and Chris Medlin. 6 of 4 and safe at first. So the Royals make sure that Minnesota does not turn the double play, and now Duffy will face his first left-handed batter in Eric Hosmer. About Minnesota's defense.
Yeah, that's a nice little try there, but the ball's not hit hard enough for him to roll a pair. The Twins defense, they've been suspect. Sano in right, he's getting another chance here. He started in the first game, had a misjudgment in right field off of Salvi's triple, but hey, let it go. This young man, he's given his effort. He's working hard. He's not an outfielder by trade. This is his first year breaking in.
Eric Hosmer going through a 2-for-25 slide, and that has dropped his batting average under 300 for the first time in a long time. And he pulls off that pitch, strike one.
Nothing a couple of base hits to the opposite field won't cure. Right there. Just don't try to jump him. Go the opposite field.
He does go to the opposite field and drives Grossman back near the wall to make the catch, and that will do it for the Royals. They leave a runner. We head to the bottom of the first. Nothing score. Time 11-34 this year in last place. He's got Dozier back in there, who's going through an 0-for-15 slide that dropped his batting average to 199. Kurt Suzuki back in the lineup, hitting 8.
Yeah, they're desperately looking for some kind of offense to put in play off of Dylan G. See that nice 2.9 ERA? It's gradually declining, which is excellent. He's able to use all of his pitches. He's got 4: fastball, slider, curve, and a changeup. He's got the ability to strike you out. Him and Ian Kennedy are very similar as far as their velocity and pitch arsenal. Strike one's going to be his best pitch tonight, or today.
Nunez just 1 for 10 in this series, now batting .303. That is hit well. Deep center field. 1-0 Minnesota.
Eduardo Nunez saying, all right, that's enough of them scoring first. Let's try it. That makes him 4 for 5 off of Dylan G. This fastball belt high. He challenged him. Right over the middle. Sometimes you want to get that pitcher early that first inning before he settles in. Second pitch, he wasn't messing around.
Yeah, his first pitch was a fastball way high, and it seemed like he tried to make that adjustment and find that outside corner, and it found down the middle.
He was waiting on it.
And Dozier hammers one deep.
Wow.
2-0 Twins.
Well, Dozier, who they've been working on the last couple of days, sitting out, going to right field. Why would they work on that swing when he can do that? Hanging curve. Both pitches out over the middle. G's going to have to make some adjustments quickly in this one.
Dillon allowed only 1 run in 5 innings in his last start when he beat the Chicago White Sox 4-1.
He's going to have to start moving that ball inside, knocking these guys off the plate. Talking with Ned Yost before the game about Dillon Gee, and the reason he's had so much success is because he's aggressive inside. And he's going to have to unloosen the collars of some of those guys. Don't let them get comfortable up there today.
Mauer takes an off-speed pitch outside 3-1. Dillon normally has very good command, and that is his strength. Strike to Mauer. Runs the count full, 3-2.
There you go. That's where he wants to stay.
Ned also said no pitch limit on Dillon Gee, who threw 92 in that last start against Chicago. Up the middle, into center field. 3 straight hits for the Twins. Let's check out our 4 defense around the horn.
Okay, where's Merrifield? That's the theme of the day now each day when he's out in left field. Cuthbert playing third base. Paulo and Kane in center. No Gerard Dyson. Drew Butera getting to put the signals down this afternoon.
Game 1, Merrifield started at third. Game 2 started at second base. Today starting in left field.
So how about if we have a little where's Witt theme each day? Where's he going to be? Wherever Ned wants him. No, he's looked lost in this series so far, and hopefully he doesn't show up again today either. He looks like he's guessing. He's unsure of himself. He's taking check swings. He's just not real comfortable.
He made the final out of last night's victory. The Royals 7-4. And that was after Wade Davis loaded the bases with nobody out. Ball misses low. Dave Island came out, had a conversation with Wade, and said, let's get back to it. He thought Davis was being a little bit too creative with his stuff, trying too much to manipulate his cutter and fastball. He said, let's go back to the 4-seamer. Let's stay behind the baseball and attack.
Yeah, you know, you got to love that encouragement. Every time Dave Island goes out, he didn't just go out to go out. He goes out with a message. And Wade Davis, listen. Dillon Gee coming in to this game, on his first 2 pitches, the league's hit 588, 3 homers. So you would think that maybe he could start hitting those corners early in counts.
was their star last year, helping lead the team to a second-place finish in the American League Central. He belted 18 home runs and drove in 52 in a little more than half the season. And a swing and a miss, and Dylan G gets his first out of this game.
That ball was by him. He beat him inside. Wasn't down the middle, it was inside. You know, it was up enough to where he couldn't get to it. Good pitch.
Here's Robbie Grossman, who started all 3 games of this series. He signed a deal after opting out of a contract with the Cleveland Indians. One time a very good prospect with the Houston Astros, and spent all of his big league time with the Astros. Strike.
Well, he knows all about this opportunity he's getting. He's trying to make the best of it. Hitting 400 doesn't hurt. Of course, this is his 16th at bat. A couple doubles, a homer.
A career .243 hitter in the big leagues with Houston and with Minnesota. Blocked by Drew Butera. Drew outstanding defensively and spent some time with this Minnesota Twins organization here in 2010 through 2013, and they loved his defense. They just needed him to hit a little bit more.
Well, he's perfect for Ned Yost and Salvador Perez. You know, he really admires Salvador, as you should, but he treats him like royalty. He's always coming in from the bullpen, keeping his eye on Salvi where he is in the lineup. He makes that last out. He comes in from the pen and warms up the pitcher. But he's hitting .250, Drew Butera. There's nothing wrong with that once a week.
Edinson Volquez got the win last night in a 7-4 Kansas City triumph. And one of the great things that Eddie was able to do was rest that bullpen as he worked into that 7th inning. Wanted to finish that 7th, was angry at himself for walking that final guy, but went 6 2/3 innings. In the air to left field. Merrifield chases it into the corner, will make the catch, and having the tag second base as he retraces his steps is Joe Mauer.
Yeah, Mauer got up all the way 1 step past second base. One thing a runner's got to remember to do is when he goes back to first, re-tag second once you've crossed it. He had plenty of time. Ball looks like it's carrying nicely today. Oh, it looked like a pop-up. He was on the warning track. He caught it.
Now Byung-Ho Park, we saw him belt a long home run at Kauffman Stadium in the 3-game series the Royals swept back in April. He's been going through a rough time, but he did get a base hit his last time up on Monday in the 8th inning, which broke in 0 for 20. High in the air to center field. Green comes in now. That will do it, but 2 home runs back to back by Nunez and Dozier. And we head to the 2nd inning. Royals must come back. is who's driving the bus, and our Kia in the driver's seat says that bus driver is Salvador Perez. He has a 10-game hit streak, and it's one of the longest in baseball right now. Jackie Bradley Jr. at 28, but there's Salvador right behind his former teammate Ben Zobrist.
That's right. Salvy's cry, all aboard. Jump on my back, 250 pounds. He can take it, believe that. Using the whole field, too. He's just in a nice zone.
He loves hitting a target field.
You know, you throw this guy anything out over the middle of the plate, you're in trouble. So he's going to try to get him to chase.
He has moved his average from 245 at the start of this series to its current 276.
He keeps throwing those curveballs up there like that. They're going to time him, and they're going to wait for the one that's laid out over the middle, just like G did to Dozier.
7 for 9 in this series. This is outside, and Perez walks for just the 8th time this year.
Okay, that ties his buddy Alcides Escobar for 8 walks. We'll have to keep an eye on that as the season moves on.
He still leads Esky in triples.
That's
or
right.
He's equal with Esky in triples,
Yeah.
but leads Dyson.
Well, they're all getting a kick out of that.
Another hot player, Paulo Orlando, with an 8-game hit streak, 17 hits. 17 hits in that streak, and 5 for 9 in this series, including a pair of doubles.
I don't know if I'm going to even think about bunting the way I'm swinging the bat now. He's 10 for 16 on this road trip, a 625 average.
And none of them have been cheap hits. I mean, they've been line smashes, gappers.
Eduardo Nunez, the third baseman, he's playing back, and when Paulo Orlando, he faked that bunt first pitch, he didn't even move in. He said, go ahead, we'd love it if you'd bunt.
Paulo runs well. Duffy, with a good sinking fastball, gets a lot of ground ball outs, and the Twins almost turned 2 double plays in that first, but the Royals' speed denied that. There you go. He did not. He was able to check. The Twins have allowed 3 or more runs in 40 of their 45 games. That's why they're team ERA dead last in the American League at 5.07, and their starters ERA 5.34. That also is last. Up the middle, but fielded by Escobar. They will turn the double play. 6-3.
Exactly what Duffy wanted there. A breaking ball that's up. Paulo just a little bit out in front of that. If he waits, just keeps his hands inside, he's going to shoot that ball to right field, but he gives in here.
Cheslor Cuthbert, the batter, got his first start yesterday since being recalled from the minor leagues after Mike Moustakas was day-to-day and Alex Gordon placed in the disabled list. He went 1 for 4 with a single last night.
That's a good pitch to hit. Still a little light rain in the atmosphere. I liked the confidence that the Minnesota Twins had in starting this game, close to being on time, but they were starting in the mist.
A chopper to short. Escobar will handle it. Royals are done in the second. Bottom number 2 we go. Minnesota 2, the Royals nothing. University of Kansas hospital injury report is about Detroit Tigers top starter Jordan Zimmermann. He's day-to-day with a right groin strain, likely to miss his next start, and he has started so well after moving over from the Washington Nationals, and Detroit has been very hot. And right now they're on the heels of Kansas City, just 1 game back.
And they're playing good baseball now, get some offense of their own. How about G mixing up that first pitch curveball? That's what he's going to have to start doing. First pitch average 583.
Cleveland beat Chicago last night, so the Royals right now within 2 games of first place. And today, well, it's about ready to start. Cleveland at Chicago. Corey Kluber against Jose Quintana. That ball hit high in the air to the right side. Orlando comes charging on. The ball will drop.
That's one thing you don't see very often with this Royals defense, but it happens. Paulo Orlando stayed back on that and should have just taken charge all the way and called Infante off. Just because an infielder puts his hands in the air signaling to the outfielder, I got it, doesn't mean that he's calling for it too. They're calling at the same time. Paulo was yelling. Maybe Infante didn't hear him. That's a much easier play for the outfielder to make.
Well, you talked about the communication, yelling "I got it" when you're in batting practice, or if there are fans and the fans are beginning to build. And you certainly saw that earlier this week when Alex Gordon was yelling out "I got it." Mike Moustakas was charging into foul territory, and both of their knees clipped, and both right now unable to play.
The outfielder has priority over the infielder. Easier angle to the ball.
Well, this one has not started well, and Escobar will make it all the way to third base.
Oh, you hope this is one of those games that break out. Every so often they happen, and things are contagious. Dylan G wide of the mark over there at first base. If Haas can't catch it, it's not a good throw.
So an error on Infante, an error on G, and now the batter Kurt Suzuki. Infield in. win today would give the Royals 3 straight road sweeps over the Twins. It would be the second time in club history. They also did that at Chicago back in '72 and '73. They have to recover from not playing well early in this one. We'd like to apologize to our fans back in Kansas City and in the Heartland because we're having a few technical difficulties with our audio and video. Try and get them corrected as soon as possible.
Infield pulled in here, hoping that Suzuki will hit it at one of those guys and freeze Eduardo Escobar from third.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Suzuki 4 for 9 in his career against G. He's had some success.
Foul.
Good form by the ball boy down there. Good pickup. He's ready. He's got that big trapeze glove. That's a big glove. It's an outfielder's glove. He's able to bend his knees and get down there and make the play. Blow a bubble too. Ready. G pitching Suzuki inside, trying to tie him up and get a little weak ground ball to the left side.
Throwing a lot of pitches early in this one. And the Royals need his length as they get ready to host the Chicago White Sox in a 4-game series, 2 night games Thursday and Friday, and then afternoon affairs Saturday, Sunday. A swing and a miss, and Dylan G gets his first out of the second.
That's an excellent pitch. Again inside, staying with it. Change up, pull the string, and really corkscrewed Suzuki.
It appears that we have fixed our technical difficulties, so thanks for sticking around. Royals trailing Minnesota 2-0 on solo home runs by Nunez and Dozier, who went back-to-back in the bottom of the first. And now Danny Santana, the batter. Infield still in with 1 out.
Cuthbert at third base, having to come in, respecting the bunting ability of Santana. He's in on the grass. Santana, good bunter. Wouldn't be a bad idea here with 1 out. Just put it in play, you get a ribby. Unless you bunt it too hard.
And G thinking along those lines, Hud, and he came upstairs. It would be more difficult to get that bunt down if he decided to go with that.
Santana, he's a slap hitter. He's going to try to find a hole. This is a good situation for a hitter to be in. Infield pulled in.
Did not go. 2-1.
Danny Santana is hitting .316 with the runner in scoring position this season. Twins as a whole, just .218 as a team. Not a good mark.
Now 3-1.
You notice in these situations how G is staying inside on the hitters, being very careful, leaving anything out over the plate they can put in play. Less than 2 outs, runner at third, infield in. So he's really pitching inside effectively, both to the right-handed Suzuki and now Santana, wanting to jam him. Hit a little weak ground ball on those inside jam shots.
And then he goes off speed with the curve and gets a swing and a miss. So no bunt now with 2 strikes on him. She does not want to walk Santana, who has good speed. Base hit right field. 3-0 Minnesota.
And that's what he was afraid of, leaving it out over the middle. Santana got him. Drew setting up inside, but see how that ball drifted back up and out over. He was waiting for it.
Santana is a threat to go. He has 10 steals this year. He does hold runners well, and Butera with a very accurate, strong arm. He bluffed the move, and Nunez with a swing and miss.
Butera, 29% of throwing out runners in his career. He's a good catch and throw guy, but we'll wait and see if they want to try to push the envelope.
Rex, they had the field covered overnight, then they had it off, covered it again, but you just wonder how much moisture is around those bases, because it looked like Santana on the previous pitch slipped when he tried to break for second, and that's why he came back.
Well, it's moist, but most infields are moist even on a dry day. Really water them down.
Single to center for Nunez, who's 2 for 2. Santana stops at second base.
They're really jumping on G today. All of them have been hit hard except for that leadoff single by Eduardo Escobar. It dropped in between Infante and Paulo Orlando.
Dozier, who ended an 0 for 15 slump, a long home run to left, first time up. First pitch he saw from Dillon, so G, an off-speed pitch away from him. That's the way a lot of teams have been working him, away, outside corner.
And a lot of off-speed. Yeah, that wasn't a hit off Eduardo Escobar. They gave Infante an error on that. 2 miscues so far by the Royals early in this one.
And they came into the game with the second fewest errors in the American League, only 20. And defending very well on this road trip. 1-2 to Brian Dozier.
Now that pitch that Dozier reacted on and hit his 5th home run was a curveball, and when you're thinking opposite field and he throws you a hanger like that, you're going to automatically pull on it. But Dozier really wants to continue to focus opposite field.
Won't have room. Count stays 1 ball, 2 strikes. Twins fighting to get out of this slide. They have lost 20 of their last 24 games, and this was a team many expected to contend and push Kansas City and the rest of the American League Central.
Hard to explain some things, but look, when you're not catching the ball, that's one thing. You're not pitching, that's another. Those two go hand in hand.
Great pitch there by G, and he has struck out 3 now and gets an important second out.
Change up down underneath the bat. Good pitch, good location.
Dillon's next pitch will be his 51st of this ball game. He's trying to get just his 6th out. Bauer's very patient. 3rd in the American League in walks with 28. Jose Bautista leads the American League with 38, and behind him is Carlos Santana of Cleveland. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the Twins offensively, it's not like they have been struggling in this series. They've had a lot of base runners. As an example, in game 1, Paul Molitor's team, of the 18 half innings Kansas City and Minnesota played, there were only 2 half innings where the team didn't have a hit, and 2 of those belonged to the Royals. Well, a final swing and a miss by G. He gives up a run on the single by Santana, and the Royals must come back from a 3-0 deficit at Target Field. To stay dry in the Twin Cities. We had a lot of rain earlier, and they're expecting some this afternoon. Hope to get this game in and get home and begin a 4-game set with the White Sox, and hope you get your tickets for that series. It's going to be a dandy. First place Chicago and the world champion Royals at the K. Royals.com to get tickets. Omar Infante will lead things off. Three of those 9 RBIs are in this series. He swings and misses at that good Duffy curve. Tyler Duffy, the Twins' 5th round pick in 2012 out of a great baseball school, Rice University in Houston. Pitched there 3 years, 2010, 11 and 12, and 11 and 5 with a 306 earned run average. And they used him, Rex, not only as a starter, but he was their top closer. Swung on and foul tipped into the glove of Kurt Suzuki. So there's strikeout number 1 for Duffy.
Have to be a little bit more selective on that big curve, and look how much he throws at, 42% of the time, and hitters aren't doing much off of it. 193 average. Change up, very few of those. So the fastball they can hit, it's not overpowering, but it's the curveball they're going to have to discipline themselves to lay off of if they want to get back in this game off Duffy.
Drew Butera. He has started 2 games on this trip. On Sunday in Chicago, catching Yordano Ventura, and then today catching Dylan G. We asked Ned Yost about, did he want to give Kendrys Morales another mental day off the way Morales is struggling. He said no. It was simply, I wanted to give Salvi a day off of catching, but keep his bat in there. We need his offense.
Well, even though Ned says it's not a mental break, it still is for Morales. Anytime you chill on the pine for 9, that's getting a little mental break, but he'll be ready maybe for a pinch hit opportunity later.
Swaim hitting coach. Terra swings and misses, and another good breaking ball thrown by Duffy. This season at the K, the weekend starts early because every Thursday home game is Buck Night. Come enjoy Royals baseball while saving some hard-earned cash. Enjoy delicious hot dogs and peanuts for just $1 a piece. Get your tickets now for Thursday Buck Nights at the K by calling 1-800-6-ROYALS or online at royals.com/promotions. And of course, first game is with the White Sox tomorrow night on a Thursday, and it's going to be well attended, fans, so get your tickets now.
There's the occasional changeup and a good one. Put it right on the corner. But you can forget about that pitch if you're a hitter. It's this one here you're going to have to lay off of. See, by laying off of those pitches, drawing some few walks off of Duffy, you're going to force him to throw that fastball. That's the one you want. You're going to force him to throw it up there because that's the only thing he can throw for a strike. Everybody that plays against the Royals, that pitches against the Royals, know about their frenzy hitting style of offense, and that how they don't take a walk, they are up there hacking. Well, sometimes when you're on a roll like the Royals have been, Duffy's maybe has the remedy.
But the one thing that I've noticed during this hot streak, Rex, is the adjustment Kansas City's offense is making second, third time through when they face a starting pitcher.
Yeah, they do make adjustments very well, but you know, they do it by staying aggressive, not walking. But you know, you can't hit pitches that are like that in the dirt. You have to show some discipline.
In there. Duffy strikes out the side. Bottom 3 we go. 3-0 Twins.
The Royals are trailing right now. A little bit of a drizzle. Joel Goldberg up here behind home plate. And today is a day we reflect and remember our good friend, the all-time wins leader for the Royals, Paul Splittoff. He passed away five years ago today. And guys, it is a day that I know I will remember, and Royals fans will forever, finding out that news. But what a blessing to have been able to have worked with Split. And I know for Royals fans, the all-time wins leader, so many memories for so many people. I've already heard from a lot of folks today, including Paul's wife Lynn, and it is something that we think about. We think about Split every single day, but what an incredible competitor. Worked so hard out there on the mound, had that classic leg kick, the big hook, and he is someone that just truly loved the game. We'll see the play here, and nicely made by Chesler Cuthbert. And so Split was respected as a broadcaster and as a pitcher all across baseball, certainly in Kansas City. But I had a chance this morning to talk with Hall of Famer Burt Blyleven about his memories of Split.
Well, Paul, was a guy that, I faced many times as my mound opponent with the Royals. He was a battler. He had a left-hander. He had a very good hook. He'd come right at you. And in the broadcast booth, of course, he and I got to talk a lot, and just a nice guy. I miss his smile.
Nice words there from Burt Blyleven. That's our Northtown Mazda game break, and our thoughts certainly with Lynn Splittorff and their kids, Jamie and Jen. Guys?
Thank you very much, Joel. And just growing up in the Kansas City area and being a Royals fan, I just loved the way Paul Splittorff competed and the way he would beat those darn New York Yankees.
Yep, he was a little bit before my time, but I sure enjoyed our broadcasting sessions we had off the camera. He's a fun guy to talk to. He's got a great family. We do miss him.
Now Byung Ho Park. Grossman just knocked one off the wall, so he now has 7 hits in his 17 at bats as a Minnesota Twin. Paulo Orlando, though, played the ball off the wall very well to hold Grossman to 1.
Sure did. Grossman had to lock on the brakes coming around first base. But in order for Dylan G to stay in this game, he's going to have to find some command. He's going to have to stay out of the middle. He can't afford. Doesn't have that blazing fastball. And there's another one right down the middle on a tee. The hitters aren't going to miss those on a day game like this. The way the Twins have been scuffling. Got it.
Got him. That'll help.
Quick feet. Grossman got a little bit too happy there, starting to get a little jumped, trying to cheating out of the blocks. Haas got him on the shoulder just in time.
Park was Korea's best player, 53 home runs and 146 RBIs last year as the star in Korea. Good slider there and a swing and a miss. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. But smaller ballparks, also a smaller baseball they used over there.
It's like a AA league. It's not close to major league caliber.
G makes quick work of Park. Gets the side retired, and we head to the 4th inning. Royals need 3 to tie. challenge he faced. Right now, the Royals, Whit Merrifield will lead things off, and he takes that good breaking ball, and that has been Duffy's money pitch.
Well, that's the one you look for when it starts at you. When it starts out over the middle of the plate, it's going to be off. So hitters pick that release point up.
Merrifield shows bunt, and he did extend it and stay.
And you know what? He picked the perfect pitch to do that on. He just go ahead and follow through with it. Put it down. Anything breaking like that makes it easier to get it on the ground. It's already going down. He picked a good one.
Yeah, he's got great feel of it right now. And there's a line drive base hit by Merrifield into left field on a 2-strike pitch.
Okay, now you throw that pitch enough, and the hitter's going to pick that up. The ball that starts right at you is going to be hittable. Now check it out here. He's setting up a way, Suzuki is, and he's going to be able to get the pitch. It hangs out over the middle. Good job of keeping his head on it. Good hip position flying out there, and he rakes it for the second hit of the Royals. Good swing on the curve. They can start timing that if he throws it enough. Merrifield using his lower half very well on that one. You got to have your lower half. It's just important as hands, but sometimes those hands are a little bit more important when it comes to flicking that ball to the opposite field and pulling that one just like he did there out in front.
Royals have had their leadoff man on in 3 of the 4 innings. Double play snuffed out one rally in the 2nd inning. 2 terrific balls down in the strike zone enticed Merrifield Kane to hit the ball on the ground, where the double play was almost turned in the 1st.
You know, it's the same as a fastball. Now, if a starting pitcher has 95 in his arsenal, that's a good pitch. You could make mistakes in the middle and blow it by hitters. But if you throw enough of those 95s, they'll catch you eventually. Same way with a different kind of pitch. And for Tyler Duffy, it's his curve. He's throwing it so many times, they're going to eventually, when he leaves one up, they're going to jump it. And that's what you'd hope now if the Royals get back in this one.
The way he's keeping that ball down, would you consider a hit and run?
Yeah, you know what? Certainly anything, but with nobody out, you typically just going to go a straight steal. Let's see if Merrifield can go.
Duffy is quick home.
Yep, Whit does not have a steal yet in his career. Looking for his first major league bag.
Duffy has struck out 3.
Typically nobody out, you run through a hit and run, you throw him out, it doesn't work, you take yourself out of a big inning.
Just barely missed inside. Wow, almost looked like umpire Jeff Kellogg was going to ring him up. This is our Missouri Lottery Fox track.
That's off the plate. If there's a Royal that's bench jockeying,
barely got back.
One of the Royals will say, put your tin cup away. Let's quit begging. I don't know if they rag like that anymore. But look at this play here. That's telling me that Whit Merrifield's getting the maximum lead he can get. A step and a dive back to the bag.
Royals don't walk much. The city wants to stay out of the double play. And these are Whit's numbers down in AAA. And he stole 32 bags last year. He goes. Pitch is swung on and fouled off the right side.
Interesting watching Miguel Sano over there. He's hugging the corner. He's playing Lorenzo Cain like a left-handed pull hitter. Look where he is. He's almost out of your screen over here.
He's hit several in the right center field gap in this series. Low, ball 4. Now the tying run will come to the plate in Eric Hosmer. It's 2 walks for Duffy, when his best start of the year beat the Cleveland Indians with 7 shutout innings, only walked 1. He had 2 great games back-to-back against the White Sox and then against Cleveland before struggling in his last outing against Toronto. Haas flied out to deep left field last time up, sending Grossman to the wall. Duffy has allowed 3 home runs this year. Only 1 to a left-handed batter.
Hosmer's due. Hadn't hit one since the 18th of this month. As good as he's going.
Duffy pitching him carefully. He doesn't care if he's 2 for his last 26. Line sharply to left. Will Grossman reach it? No, it's over his head. Merrifield will score. Here comes Lorenzo Cain. He will score. And Hosmer comes through with a 2 RBI double.
Royals extremely confident. There's the opposite field hit for Hosmer. That's the remedy. Grossman got a good break on it. Wasn't sure if he's going to make that play, but Haas had too much carry on it. That ball's on the outer half of the plate. Good swing. Good, really nice pass there. Haas is kind of checking it out, saying, all right, I need a couple more ribbies. We got to get back in this game. 22nd and 23rd now RBIs on the season for Haas.
There's Salvador Perez, who walked his first time up, and a balk as he dropped the baseball. And Hosmer goes to third. So it's unraveling a little bit for Tyler Duffy. Paul Molitor's seen this too often. Tying run now just 90 feet away. Oh,
rats. That's just.
I don't want to go get it. Maybe they would see.
You know,
wasn't me.
Nobody's perfect, Fizz. We all make mistakes. That right there is a little mental lapse. Could have been physical. You know, we've all made them. Now you got to make them pay. That's the thing. And the Royals like to do that to their opponents.
Infield is back. They'll give up the tying run to get an out.
Salvi just put that ball in play.
1 ball, 1 strike. Salvi 17 for 41 during this 10-game hit streak. They pitched him very carefully first time up. And then he goes to right field. This should be deep enough. It's over the head. Really had a lot of carry. So Salvi now has an 11-game hit streak and slides head first as he ties the game. You said earlier it's really carrying well today. And at first I thought Sano would reach that. And it just took off and sailed over his head.
Well, it helps when you have a guy that does not know how to take direct routes. Salvi hits this ball hard again. Tough play for the right fielder, Sano, who's learning on the job. Watch his route. He starts in and over and back. Oops. Well, we'll have to get him next time. Get the rebound. So these are the issues that the Minnesota Twins have. Now, I'm not saying that he would have caught that ball if he takes a direct route, but he needs more fly balls off the bat in batting practice to get used to that.
He's a converted third baseman, but because of Trevor Plouffe, he has to play the outfield to get his bat in the lineup, and it has cost the Twins several times this year. Bad defense in the outfield.
And you know, Fizz, it just takes time for him. This young man's a good athlete. He works hard. I talked to Butch Davis, their first base coach, outfield instructor of the Twins, about Sano, and he said, you know, the guy has a great attitude. He comes out every day. We work on stuff.
There's a shot to right. Into the corner it goes. And that's a foul ball.
Oh, Paulo was leaning left, trying to give that body language to stay fair. Now, Sano, here's the ball. Ball hit sometimes not an easy read. He starts in thinking that's how he's going to dump it in there. But then he can freeze it right there, guys. He wanted to take a more direct route. When you horseshoe in like that and you don't take the exact route you want, those balls will fall.
Our Kubota power stats. Paulo Orlando has been outstanding with runners in scoring position. 526, but he finds himself down 0-2 and at the mercy of that Duffy curveball. Doesn't bite.
Salvi looking at Rusty Kuntz. Rusty giving him instructions.
That time Duffy came in on Paulo and strikes him out. So they get their first out of the fourth inning. Paulo unable to advance. Salvador Perez, who Cuthbert will try to.
Yeah. Had a little something coming into the righties instead of going away. That fooled Paulo.
Now Cuthbert, who's hit in 11 of his 14 big league games this year. Strike one. Chesler was the RBI guy at AAA earlier this year before he was recalled, and has 31 RBIs in his 38 games, AAA and the bigs. In there. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Chester saying, all right, now that's the one that starts at me. Instead of freezing me, I'm going to go ahead and take a hack at that next one. It's going to break right down over the heart of the plate. But he's ahead 1-2. He's going to try to get him to chase.
He rolls that to third, and it's cut off by Nunez. Throws out Cuthbert. Salvador has to hold at second base. 2 out. Fans get closer to the action at the K with a Royals Memories program. Choose between a variety of unique opportunities such as photo on the field, watching batting practice, and delivering the game ball. All experiences are available for the purchase each game exclusively through the MLB.com Ballpark app. Download the Ballpark app, pick upgrades, and select a once-in-a-lifetime experience you really cherish forever, and so will your kids or your grandkids, whoever you have. Do it for. There's a base hit to left center field, and this will give the Royals the lead. And Fonte comes through. He is going 4-3 and gets there with a triple.
And Fonte saw that 0 in the triple category, and he said, with the play in front of him, I can make it to third. First triple of the year, and timely. Go ahead, RBI.
AT&T high-speed replay.
10th stake of the year. That's a curve. It hung up there. He got it. Watch him. Now, when he's making up his mind right here as he sees the play in front of him. I can make that.
And that is brought to you by AT&T high-speed internet.
And he throws him
and it gets away, and Infante will score. Wow, everything falling apart for Minnesota. Duffy rolling along, leading 3-0, and KC puts 5 on the board, and they're getting closer and closer to that dreadful Minnesota bullpen.
Third wild pitch on the year. Now look, didn't want to give him this one, but man, he whiffed that big time. Infante comes to the plate, puts up the stop sign to the catcher. Don't throw it.
Butera to short. And mercifully, the 4th inning is over for Minnesota, but Kansas City gets 5 to take a 5-3 lead on the Twins. A 5-run 4th inning ties the Royals season high for most runs in 1 inning, and Omar Infante with a big hit to give the Royals the lead, and then he scored on the wild pitch. It looked like he was sitting on the curveball.
For sure, like I was telling you, that's coming. This kid keeps throwing curve after curve after curve. This is the big leagues. These hitters make adjustments, and they waited for it. Word gets around in that dugout over there, and they were able to jump on him. Heck, there was some Royals fans that went away for the inning, get a cup of coffee, they came back and they went, wow, we got the lead 5-3. It happened quickly.
It's a blooper towards right. That ball will drop. Escobar is on. And I know this game far from over, but I'm sure the same situation is in Chicago. They have the scoreboards in the outfield. Cleveland and the White Sox are playing. They're going, oh, the Twins are up 3-0. And then all of a sudden they look up again. Oh, Royals are now leading 5-3, and the Royals are only a half game back of the Tribe and 2 games back of the Chicago White Sox. Again, we'll host the Sox at the K beginning tomorrow night. Tickets available for all 4 games, but get them fast because they're going quickly.
Well, looking forward to getting home, and so are the players. But Fizz, honestly, this time of year, there ain't many players watching the scoreboard.
All right.
Long way to go. We do. It's okay if we watch it. We're on the other side. But those guys down there, it's such a day-to-day grind. They show up, they go back to their hotel rooms, they sleep, they wake up, they go to the ballpark. I mean, it's such a routine that every guy gets into, and they're all in it for one thing.
We do that routine too, but we still look at the scoreboard.
Yeah, right. We do. They don't. I'm just telling you what a player. You know.
And Cleveland right now is leading Chicago 2-0 in the 3rd. And that is Quintana on the mound for the White Sox, and for Cleveland, Corey Kluber. Here's Suzuki, who struck out swinging his first time up. Runner goes, pitches inside, throw by Butera. Got him.
Ooh, man, what a jump Eduardo Escobar got. I'm thinking there's no way he's going to throw him out. But Butera put it right on the first base side of second. Great throw. Look Look at the jump. Wow. And looks like Escobar gave him a little elbow to Infante. Look at that quick release.
Drew, very capable defensive catcher in the big leagues. Royals love him.
No, when you're a backup player like Butera or any of the extra guys, you're not sitting around the clubhouse eating hot dogs and ice cream all day. Okay, wow, the G caught his foot again.
Dylan talked about this because he had that crazy throw the other day in his contest against the White Sox, but he said, I've done it actually before.
At least he released the ball. He held on to it this time. But you know that stride foot, when you got to pick it up a little higher so it clears the ground. He knows that. Let's see if he can stay on the corners here now, not let these guys back in there. Butera works. He's a worker. I mean, when he's not playing, actually, when he plays and starts a game like today, that's a break for him. This is what Drew does every day. Pedro Gafal playing umpire behind him, working on that release point. This is what you do. You want to stay as a big league backup catcher, you work. Pedro Gafal on the watchful eye, checking the release point, looking at that direction, and a nice pitch by G. Good to see.
And that was after G had fallen behind in the count 3-1, fought back and strikes out Suzuki for the second time. That's 6 strikeouts for Dylan. Yeah, scouts told me that they've clocked Butera over 90 miles an hour on his throws to second base.
Well, you love the technology of the modern game today, for sure. But look, just get the job done. It's simple. A transfer from glove to hand right near the ear. Keep that ball straight as a string. Can't throw sidearm from catcher spot. The ball will leak. Won't be straight.
Dylan falling behind the number 9 batter Santana. Goes right down the middle. And he singled to right field, and that drove in a run. Escobar scoring to give Minnesota a 3-0 lead. Ball 4. First walk by G. Dylan's 6 strikeouts, the most strikeouts he's had at a game since the 7 he struck out April 16th of last year. You might remember he had some injuries last year at the New York Mets. Did not pitch well. He was designated for assignment with that right groin strain. Battled much of the season. Royals signed him on December 18th after 9 years in the New York Mets organization.
Love to go out and get veteran guys, veteran players. Been there, done it. Sometimes young players that are trying to come up, like a Whit Merrifield, you know, they've been down in the minors a long time, and the manager keeps going with veteran established players. That's just part of it. They want the guys with track records. And so when you finally get your chance, you do exactly like young Whit Merrifield's doing. Put on a clinic. Multiple positions, raking, running, saying, I'm not going back.
Count 1 ball, 2 strikes to Eduardo Nunez. Coming into this game, Dylan G had been so tough with opponents on 2 strikes. Batters were only hitting .075. Veteran who makes a quality pitch when he needs to finish guys off.
That's a great mark.
Runner goes. Pitch is lifted foul. Our Academy leaderboard shows you how tough Dylan has been. We're 75 coming into this ball game.
Yeah, you know what? That really helps you conserve your pitch count when you can go right after those guys with 2 strikes. I don't know how Nunez fouled that last pitch off. Ball was down in the dirt.
Down the line, a fair ball. Merrifield plays it quickly, but coming around to score will be Santana. The throw to the plate. Safe.
Eduardo Nunez swung at the previous pitch and fouled it off in a really tough pitch that bought him another one. G came right back in there. Merrifield quick with the relay to Escobar. Esky with a really nice throw, and Drew just couldn't hang on to it. That's an excellent relay. Merrifield picked it up off the warning track. Didn't take a crow hop, just got rid of it to Escobar on the fly. And you're going to see a lot of guys get thrown out by Escobar because the outfielders get him that ball quickly.
So now Brian Dozier, he takes strike 1. Well, this started with 2 out. Santana walk and the Nunez double with 2 strikes on him. Lined out to Cuthbert. That will end the inning, but Minnesota scores a run.
Drew Butera throwing out his first base stealer of the year. Watch him. Right from the ear. Better check his fingers for earwax. Great throw.
Let's look at a little bit of trivia in this one, our sprint trivia, and as we continue to honor our late great friend Paul Splittorff, how about this one? Paul Splittorff and these other 2 AL pitchers posted 10 seasons of 10+ wins. Who are those other 2 pitchers? Now Split would have just gotten out the iPad and looked. No, he wouldn't have. He didn't know how to do any of that stuff. At least he pretended like he didn't know how to do it. I think he actually did.
Escobar lines it sharply to left center field. Robbie Grossman gets there quickly to hold Esky to just one base. To think about that. Split, and these other two American League pitchers posted 10 seasons with 10 or more wins from 1971 to 1984.
How about the Baltimore Orioles? How about Jim Palmer?
Good one. How about Dennis Leonard?
Not so sure. We'll throw some names out, see if they stick. Could it be that guy possibly?
Bert Blyleven, one of the best, Hall of Famer. Or a guy who does the pre and post, Jack Morris. Jack came along a little later, talking back to the early 70s.
Where's Whit?
Whitley.
Where
Whitley
is
David?
Whitley David. He's hitting second for a championship team in the big leagues.
Hit and run. Sano will get there, and Escobar back to first base.
Nice try. Couldn't stay on top to get it down, but a good swing.
Vote for the Royals Player of the Month at one of the 7 Rally House locations in the Kansas City metro area. All participants will be entered to win a majestic prize pack, and certainly Lorenzo, one of the leading candidates with the month that he has had. You got that great game in New York with 3 home runs. There's a shot up the middle, and they've got a 6, a 4, and a 3 double play to end the top of the 5th. Was that big 5-run 4th inning for the Royals, where they roared back from a 3-0 deficit Minnesota scored 1 as G has not had one easy inning yet. And he'd love to go through this 5th as he's already thrown 86 pitches. The Royals do have Brian Flynn warming in their bullpen. It's Alexander saw Flynn up stretching. And there's a base hit to left field by Joe Mauer. Minnesota jumped out to the early lead. Royals with a 5-run fourth, tying their season high for most runs in an inning. Hosmer with a key 2-run double in that 5th inning. And Alexander's the lefty, and the right-hander's Peter Moylan. So there's Flynn. I saw Flynn stretching along Hochevar, stretching as well. I'd love to see G go 5. This is just Dylan's 3rd start of the year. That one is blasted. Twins are back in front. A upper deck shot by Miguel Sano.
Third home run this afternoon given up by G, and that's right down the middle. Big fella Sano, he knows what to do with those. He looked decided, just put that bat down and trot, and that's going to be it for Dylan G this afternoon.
Gives up 6 runs in 4+ innings, and Ned wants the lefty Alexander. We'll be right back. This is our Chevy call to the pulpit.
Target Field, Minnesota up 6-5, largely because Dylan G's command of his fastball and his few curveballs weren't where they wanted. First hit of the game, second pitch, homer. Second hit of the game, homer, curveball. RBI by Santana right there. Nunez, look at all these balls, Fizz, are just right down the middle. It's not Dylan G's afternoon.
Now he's hoping the bullpen can keep the Twins quiet and his club come back. And Tyler Duffy, who's also thrown a lot of pitches.
See if Alexander can keep his sinker down and his slider down.
Grossman with a high fly ball left side. Merrifield will watch it find the seats in foul territory. Strike one. Scott with a 2.25 ERA. This is game number 6.
Sinker slider. He'll throw some changeups to right-handed hitters. Likes to throw strikes.
You've got the switch hitter Grossman right now, then a right-hander in Park, then another switch hitter in Escobar to follow. He should have let it go.
Perfect swinging bunt. Grossman's going good. Nothing you can do except maybe let it go and see if it roll foul. No chance to throw him out.
So Grossman is 2 for 3. Stays hot in his early tenure with the Twins. Park is 0 for 2, but that was against G. Strike one. And this is their home run leader. 9 home runs by Park. He chronicled his power in Korea with 53 home runs last year. Cuthbert, second 1, first base 2.
Nicely done. Cuthbert showing off a strong arm over to second base, and Infante returns the favor. Good to see the arm strength from Infante, especially.
We might look back at that being a big moment. A 3-1 count, a hitter's count. And Minnesota had just taken the lead, and they could have had runners on first and second with nobody out. Now big double play, and the batter Escobar with nobody on. Kane. Sano goes deep. Minnesota back in front, but just by 1. Royals will have to come back again. KC Mo. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Darrell, you get $400. But if the Royals hit a grand slam, Darrell with $25,000 from Sonic and the Royals. KC fans throughout. I'm here to watch the world champions. Hosmer 1 for 2. Ripped that double to drive in 2. Now has 23 RBIs on the year. Team leader is Kane and Perez, each with 25.
You know, having never faced Duffy before, the Royals did a nice job. First time through the order, they kind of felt their way around. Only got one hit for the first time through. Second time through is when they really got to him. All those curveballs in a row. Let's see third time through what they can do.
Yeah, you get the feeling he doesn't trust his changeup like he probably will in a couple of years.
Yeah, he's going to have to develop that third pitch. But a good spot on Haas. A little anxious.
Spend your Memorial Day holiday at the K as we honor the military with the Royals Armed Forces Night presented by Budweiser next Monday against Tampa Bay. We want you to arrive early for a special pregame ceremony as we honor those men and women who died in service of this country and those still in active service. Get your tickets today at Royals.com/tickets or call 1-800-6-ROYALS.
There you go, sir. Thank you for your service. They have the servicemen and women raise the flag here at the anthem time.
Perez is out number 2.
Nice try too. Salvi, man. Park was the only guy over there on that side. He had the right idea, just couldn't get it by him. Okay, check him out. One guy over there. You'd think that he could dribble something through either side, but no. Gets it right to him.
Paulo back up the middle. That's a base hit. And his hit streak now stretches to 9 straight games.
Think middle of the field. That happens on anything. Breaking ball. He was quick. Didn't try to overdo it. Watch how quick his swing is. Oh, vicious. What a stroke. Lethal hands, Fizz. We've been seeing this guy, Paulo Orlando, on this road trip. I can't believe coming in 625 average coming into today's game. Have a road trip. Way to help those Royals get back on their road winning ways.
4-1 on this trip to Chicago and Minnesota. Cuthbert takes out time outside, and Chesler knows he might be back on the bench in a little bit. The Royals are hoping that Mike Moustakas will be able to play this weekend, but he was feeling better today, and Ned Yost told us he will be reevaluated in Kansas City by Dr. Vincent Key. There is Moose. Hopefully we'll see him against the White Sox when we head home after this one today. Check swing low.
Yep. Discipline yourself and lay off of that and see if he'll give you a 3-run fastball. I doubt it. He knows Chester's got some pop. Could give him the lead with one swing. Oh. Right down the middle.
Dozier takes care of it. The final out.
Oh, he gave you a cookie.
by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. KC fans here hoping to see another comeback. The Royals scored 5 runs in the 4th, but they trail by 1 as Sano went deep in the 5th.
That little girl's got it going on. Being entertained here at Target Field. Yeah. Alexander got to hold him down here for another Royals comeback. They've had 7 come from behind wins so far this season out of their 24 wins.
Kiss in the audience today. Suzuki fouls it off. Kurt has struck out twice, both times facing G. Started his career with the Oakland Athletics. Very good catcher there. And Ray Fosse, who's the Oakland Athletics broadcaster, loved him. He said he was an absolute sponge, constantly wanting to learn and get better. Went on to the Nationals for part of a year and he signed a deal with Minnesota. Alexander didn't miss by much, but it's a 1-2 count. Picked up his 1,000th base hit on Sunday, Hud, and he said, I may need another 30 years to get to 3,000, but he said, I'll take 1,000. That's a cool number.
Yeah, good for him. He's worked hard.
32 years old, out of Maui. And he was offered a full ride to go to the University of Hawaii, but walked on at Cal State Fullerton simply because he thought they were a better baseball program, and he became an All-American, obviously earning a scholarship.
No, it's a good decision. Pete Moreland, he's cranking it up.
Struck him out. Suzuki doesn't strike out 3 times in a game that often, but he has today. Well, fans, you can follow Royals baseball live on your phone and tablet with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment of game day, video highlights, StatCast, and more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live Royals baseball on your phone and tablet. Some kind of mojo.
Yeah, he's all done up. Sleeves are ripped up.
Do you think he's lead guitar or bass?
Ah, well, could be the drummer.
Could be. Santana just barely taps that one foul. Royals have struck out 7 Twins today, 6 by G and 1 by Suzuki. 1 by Alexander of Suzuki. Escobar will reach this one. 2 outs. So back to the top of the order, and Nunez, who is a perfect 3 for 3, and he is a triple shy of the cycle. We had Salvador Perez, a home run shy of the cycle on Monday, and Nunez today has homered, singled, and doubled. Bunt, foul, and Butera makes sure it stays foul.
Yeah, last Minnesota Twins cycle back in '09. Michael Kadire. Rare. Those are more rare than no hitters. How about Salvador Perez? He got a knock on his 5th hit, but then his first time up the next day, he gets a homer last night. The bicycle. Yeah, I like that.
Alexander got the first 2 outs. Now facing Nunez. Meantime, Cleveland has gone up 3-0 on the White Sox. They're in the 4th. Obviously, Kluber pitching well. Strike 2.
Alexander using the inside part of that plate. That's nice because it set up the outside for a changeup to it. Got to pitch inside. Can't be afraid. Bust him in there.
Got inside enough where he couldn't do much damage, and Lorenzo Cain will run it down in shallow left center field, and that's a 1-2-3-6. Good job by Alexander.
Here in Minnesota, our T-Mobile greater coverage of baseball takes a look at Jake Arrieta. Cubs have won in his last 22 starts. He could tie Chris Medlin's MLB record of 23 consecutive wins. He's currently tied with Carl Hubble and Whitey Ford at 22. But guys, he is having not very much of a Jake Arrieta day so far. 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs. The last time that he gave up 4 earned runs in a game, a regular season game, June 16th of last year.
Omar Infante thrown out, and a nice play by the third baseman Nunez.
Great idea. Nunez says, not on my watch. Look at him charging hard. Good focus. Kept his head down on it, saw it the whole way, and threw him out by a step. Very nice play.
Butera shows bunt, takes strike 1. Would like to get to that bullpen, which has been awful lately for Minnesota. An ERA over 7 in their last 2.5 weeks. Duffy's next pitch will be his 90th. Taylor Rogers you saw warming in the Minnesota bullpen in case Duffy gets in trouble. And we've got a left-hander Hosmer coming up. Still 4 batters away from Eric. Here's the 3-2. And he rolls it just past the mound. Fielded by Escobar. Butera is out number 2. There's no better way to spend your Friday night than at the Cave for baseball and fireworks. And we've got a great show for you this Friday with the White Sox in town. Every Friday night home game from May through August. It's courtesy of Hy-Vee and Pepsi. And all you have to do to get tickets is go to Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. Good pitching matchup as well. 2 youngsters we saw on Sunday. We'll see again on Friday. Yordano Ventura against Carlos Rodon. 2 hard throwers. Escobar 2 for 3.
Tyler Duffy hanging in there, even though the Royals are starting their 4th time through. Usually it's the time they get to him.
Yeah, I thought he really bounced back well, Hud, after giving up 5 runs, throwing a wild pitch, having a balk in that 1 bad inning, and he's pitched very well, allowing the Royals just 2 base runners since that bad 4th.
Yeah, he's recovered nicely. That'll make Molitor happy.
Escobar with a 3-hit game.
He's got that swing down, using the right side very often. Recognizes that pitch away. That's perfect for him. Long arms, gets that out there, and he's able to just slap it out there. Very little action.
We asked Ned Yost what he thought of Whit Merrifield from 2015 to 2016. And the one thing he said right away at spring training, he goes, he's bigger, he was stronger. And his ball was carrying a lot farther.
You can tell he stays through the ball nicely. He has a little one-hand takeoff. He doesn't keep both hands on the bat, and that's okay. Different styles for different hitters. But he gets a lot of bat speed generated. Duffy's just staying with the curveball. Merrifield guessing that time.
We had 1 for 3. That was a single back in the 4th inning. But right now, options for Duffy. 2 quality pitches. Escobar did not go on 0-2. I wonder if he'd go on 1-2. Meantime, Trevor May has started to warm in the Twins bullpen. I think he might be going.
Yeah, Duffy, though, he's got long arm action over there at first base. He comes set and he comes right over. Right when he gets set, he comes over and his arm's really long. So you have a hard time picking guys off.
Merrifield to center field. That's a base hit. So Witt with another multi-hit game, and the Royals will continue their attack on Tyler Duffy. And Paul Molitor turned to his pitching coach, and now he'll make a change. He wants that right-hander Trevor May, who has a power fastball, to come in to face Lorenzo Cain.
See if their bullpen can hold the Royals down.
This is our Chevy call to the bullpen. Duffy out, May in. Royals baseball is brought to you by your local Kansas City area Chevy dealers. Visit us for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. By Panera Bread, food as it should be with 24 Kansas City metro locations. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, right stuff, low price every day. Here at Target Field, the Royals taking the first two games of this series by scores of 10-4 and 7-4. They must rally against the Twins bullpen. And Trevor May, a hard-throwing right-hander with a rather high ERA, 5.64.
Yep, he's going to have to really work it. You see his average with lefties and righties. Righties are getting the better half of it. 333, 4 home runs, and he's throwing to a guy, Lorenzo Cain, who's 6 for his last 11 with runners in scoring position.
You have Escobar at second, Merrifield at first. Strike one.
He's going to roll that little slider up there, curveball changeup, but his main pitch is his fastball, 90-95.
Royals got to May the other day for a couple of runs, but that was after that long rain delay. He actually got the final out before the rain delay, and then he had to experience that 40 to 45 minute rain delay, and then came back out, gave up a couple of runs, and the Royals 10-4 win. Two and one. Primarily a starter throughout his pro career, moved to the bullpen in July of last year.
Pull the string on that after a couple of fastballs.
3-2, and with 2 out, the runners will be going. So if Kane can strike a gap, he could not only tie this game but give the Royals the lead.
You better believe Merrifield will get up on his horse. He'll be running hard from first base. Good speed. Got to think a fastball's coming here.
And he does throw the fastball and blows it by Lorenzo Cain. So the Royals lead 2 runners. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Minnesota by 1. Lead here entering the bottom of the 7th inning of play, and our sprint trivia question that we asked earlier in the game, Paul Spludorf and these other 2 American League pitchers posted 10 seasons with 10 or more wins from 1971 through 1984, and the answer is, well, we guessed Dennis Leonard and Jim Palmer and Bert Blyleven. Jim Slayton.
Well, we got Palmer. We got 1 right.
Peter Moylan out of the bullpen. Peter recorded his first win as a Royal here on Monday. His job get right-handers out. He's facing tough righty and Brian Dozier and has fallen behind 2-0. Dozier homered, struck out, lined out.
Sinker slider mainly.
Royals begin a 4-game series with the first place Chicago White Sox starting tomorrow night. Duffy and Miguel Gonzalez will be on the hill at Kauffman Stadium tomorrow night. Dozier fouls it back.
You know, Moylan made a heck of a play in game 1 when he came in to relieve. That little ball down the line, he picked it on his heels, threw a perfect strike to Hosmer. And you know, so I asked him, you know, were you drafted as a shortstop? And he said no. But
good pitch there, and he strikes out Dozier.
Look at the slider. That was an excellent slider. But he said, I pitched and played shortstop in his amateur days. So when after he came off the mound, they would put him at shortstop. So he has shortstop ability. That's why he made that play look so easy. He's got athletic skills.
Bauer 2 for 3 today. He's part of our Toyota League leaders. Former first-round draft picks who have a batting average over 300 in their career. Joe at 312. Chipper Jones, a switch hitter. Escobar. 2 outs.
Escobar played that perfectly.
Well, the Royals middle relief has really done a nice job. We're talking about 2 guys just called up from the minor leagues racing. Peter Moylan and Scott Alexander both kept the team in this game after Dylan G, the starter, gave up 6 runs in just 4+ innings. Royals will have the middle of their order coming up in the top of the 8th, and Hosmer, Perez, and Orlando. Oh, and then Sano gets banged in the back leg.
First time Sano's been hit this year.
Robbie Grossman trying to stay hot, 2 for 3. Moylan falling behind Robbie Grossman. Three and 1. Ball 4. So after getting the first 2 outs, he then hits Sano and walks Grossman on just 5 pitches. Now you've got the first baseman, Byung Ho Park.
And Yo's doesn't have anybody up in that bullpen. He's counting on Moylan to get this last out and get out of here. Get out of this inning.
Royals would love to have their main guys fresh for that Chicago series. Park fouls it out of play, strike 1. Cleveland still leading the White Sox 3-0 in the 5th inning. Way inside.
And just as we say that, Coach Avers getting up to throw, loosen up.
He's right back. the advantage. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The swing and miss pitch has been his slider.
Twins fans trying to console the Royals fan who missed it. Ball was right to him. It's not happy.
Stayed in on Park.
Okay, let's watch this foul ball. Now, this guy, he had a beat on it.
Got a glove and everything.
He looked in his glove. He's saying, "How could the glove let me down?" But he ended up getting it.
So now he's got a Texas friend. No, I made a clean catch. Had it all the way. Uh-oh. Into right center field. That hurts. And Sano will score, and now the lead is 2.
Moreland working Park inside, and then right there just leaves one out over. A short compact swing with a 2-strike approach. Piece of hitting there, put it in play in the middle of the field.
So a 7-5 Minnesota lead in the 7th. Escobar's been a tough out throughout this series. 6 hits in the 3 games. Strike 1. Peter did such a good job getting the first 2 tough hitters out in Dozier and Mauer. Things have not gone well since he threw a spinner up there that hit Sano in the back of his leg and then walked Grossman on 5 pitches. Today 1 error scored, 1 walk scored, 1 hit by pitch scored. 3 gifts. Cuthbert. It's a nice play.
Sure it is.
Eric Hosmer will start the top of the 8th for KC.
Hosmer, blast into center field. It is gone.
Minnesota 7-5 Twins as Panera takes us around the league, and Philadelphia right now maybe cooling off red hot. Detroit, Texas over Los Angeles, Cleveland again beating Chicago, and the Cubs on top of St. Louis. Now the other day Hud was excited to use the word dissipate for the first time ever. He might even know what it means. I think Ned this morning in an answer about the weather used the word dissipate. I looked at Hud. Hud had a big smile, and so I said, Ned, what about Hud using that word for the first time ever? And his response?
Hud's a very educated man, and We don't always see that, but I know that that's the case.
Thank you, Ned. Hunt, I tried to throw you under the bus. I thought he was picking you up, and then he helped me throw you under the bus.
And Ned was driving the bus.
Oh, well. The important word, dissipate. The clouds dissipate. They left, and we playing ball. Hopefully we can come back and get this one. Taylor Rogers on to try to hold. Loose baseball on the field.
Royals are hoping that the Twins' lead will dissipate, as Eric Hosmer will lead things off. Haas is 1 for 3, 2 RBI double back in the 4th. Rogers hasn't been in the big leagues very long. Recalled on May 17th when Jose Barrios was optioned, but he did pitch against the Royals on Monday and threw 2 shutout innings. Gets 2 quick strikes off against Eric Hosmer.
Yep, Haas used to those lefties coming in sweeping their sliders on him. Couple fastballs right away. 88 to 92, not overpowering, but good life. Finished him with a slider.
Fans don't miss out on Wichita State Day this Saturday when the Royals host the White Sox. The first 2,000 fans who bring their Wichita State themed ticket to the designated table will receive a limited edition gray, black, and gold branded KC cap courtesy of Fox Sports Kansas City and Rally House. Purchase your theme ticket at royals.com/theme tickets. Now nothing but right-handers. It will be Salvador Perez and then Paulo Orlando.
Taylor Rogers will use his changeup. Here it comes.
Their closer Glenn Perkins was placed on the 60-day disabled list today, and that's why they were able to call up Buddy Boshears, who's in that bullpen just for depth. There's a base hit to right field, and Salvador Perez stays hot. He's 2 for 3 with a walk. And the Royals will bring the tying run to the plate in Paulo Orlando.
There's that base hit through the hole. That's what he was looking for his last time up. Got a fastball in the outer half, short, compact swing. Salvy's seeing the ball well.
Play, strike 1. Paulo extended his hit streak to 9 straight. A single up the middle last time up. Good save by Suzuki, or Perez is at second base. Chopper to third. Second is all they can get. Well, Cheslor Cuthbert has 1 home run this year. Came back at Yankee Stadium against Masahiro Tanaka, a right-hander. He's facing Rogers for the first time. And he hits it on the line, but right to the shortstop. That will do it for Kansas City in the top of the 8th. Bottom 9, 8th we go. 7-5 Minnesota.
In Minnesota, the Twins are holding on to a 7-5 lead. Final game of the 3-game set. Royals already got the series. 3 home runs. That's really what's hurt the Royals, and it happened early. Man, Minnesota, second pitch of the game off Dylan G. Nunez took him deep. Then Brian Dozier steps in. Next hitter. Got a curveball, is out over the middle of the plate. He hit a nice home run, his 5th. And then Sano put one out of the ballpark for his 8th. And those are Dodge drives of the game.
Chin-Ming Wong comes out of that bullpen.
Sinker, slider, and the changeup. Wants to keep that sinker down. Hold him there.
Kurt Suzuki has struck out 3 times in this game. All 3 times. He came in with only 12. He's a guy who makes solid contact, short, quick swing, but that's why it's a little surprising when you see him with 3 strikeouts in one game.
They've been getting him on the inner half. And he's trying to swing and hit the home run on every swing.
Royals have won a franchise best 8 straight games at Target Field. Trail 7-5 in the bottom of the 8th this afternoon. To right field and deep. Orlando back. Gets there. 1 out. This summer, some of the biggest names in soccer converge on the United States for the 100th anniversary of one of the world's biggest tournaments. Coverage of the Copa America Centenario begins June 3rd across the networks of Fox Sports U. Danny Santana. He's been on twice with a single and an RBI in the 2nd, walked and scored in the 4th. The big hit in this game was Miguel Sano's 5th inning home run that knocked out Dylan G and erased a Royal 1-run lead and gave Minnesota a 1-run edge. Good rip there.
Chin-Ming, you can expect him to throw you something. He's relying on his sink, and when it doesn't sink, it's pretty straight. It's not overpowering, but he'll go 90 to 92.
Royals will have Infante, Butera, and Escobar scheduled to hit in the 9th inning, and off the bench they have a couple of lefties in Dyson and Moustakas, and also the switch hitting Kendrys Morales in there. Strike 3 call.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club.
Dissipate and disseminate in the same day.
That's right.
You're on a roll. Nunez on a roll as well, 3 for 4 today. Triple shy of the cycle. Tried to drop a bunt for a base hit last time up, and when that rolled foul, he wound up popping up to center. Too short. Royals have one final chance. Hitters 8, 9, and 1 will hit in the top of the ninth against Kevin Jepson. Town Mazda game break. The Chicago White Sox are coming to the cave for 4 games, and the Royals were able to hold down their offense last time they faced them, playing Sterling Day in the Windy City, and the Sox only scored 5 runs, and when they had clutch opportunities, KC just shut them down. Sox only 1 for 23 with runners in scoring position. Now the Royals are hopeful of a comeback against Kevin Jepson, who has a rather high ERA. We told you the regular closer, Glenn Perkins, on the disabled list. Jepson with a 5.9 ERA. He has 3 saves in 6 opportunities.
.312 batting average against. He's giving it up both righties and lefties.
Pitched against the Royals on Monday. Hud gave up 2 runs in 1 inning.
We're not seeing the 95 to 97. He's more in the low 90s. He's got a slider that he works off of that.
Infante with a big triple and an RBI in the 4th. He drove in the go-ahead and then scored the 5th for KC.
Set the table up.
One ball, 1 strike. Dyson on deck.
It also has Morales sitting down there. You could use him. Some guys get on base.
Popped him up right side. Park. Right in the foul line for the first out. Dyson's had a good road trip, going 5 for 12. A couple of RBIs, a couple of runs scored.
First opportunity he's gotten all year to pinch hit. Be ready for that first one.
the Royals have a chance. The tying run will come to the plate, and Alcides Escobar. Dyson going for 2. Surprised me a bit, but he makes it safely. Play right in front of him.
Minnesota's defense just deplorable. Unbelievable. That's a way to be ready for that first swing, that first fastball. It was up, and he just chipped it in out there. Look at, I love that. Dyson, he's seen what the defense has given me or given him, and they're not playing with any kind of energy at all. Santana just coasting after that, taking it easy. Grossman coming in. There's no sense of urgency.
Escobar with a 3-hit game. He's had a 4-hit game this month. Takes upstairs, ball 1. We told you Jepsen, 3 saves, 3 blown saves. In the past, when he has been in a role, it's usually been in a setup role, whether it was the 7th inning or the 8th inning, but very rarely to close out games, to get those final 3 tough outs. A reminder, Joel will be along for you after the game with Boulevard Royals Live. Way high. When he has missed, he's really missed badly. Merrifield waiting on deck.
He's going to try to use his slider to get Escobar out. Escobar hitting .262 with the runner in scoring position.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Stayed with the fastball, that time at 96 miles an hour.
Yeah, he's got better velocity today.
If the Royals do come back and tie this game, they'll lose the designated hitter because Salvador Perez will have to catch now. The pitcher will have to hit for himself. Making it as tough as possible. Nice catch by a young lady in the club level. She stayed right with that.
Yeah, no glove.
Didn't back away at all.
No glove with a spoon in her left hand. Caught her right in the middle of eating a little ice cream. There you go. How do you do that? Look at that, Fizz. She got a spoon in her left hand. She got skills. Yep, last 2 pitches, sliders, trying to get Escobar off balance, but you know Esky, he's the king of that hit. And dropping it right in right field. Sano playing him towards the line out there in right.
Sano very deep in right. Escobar usually does drop a base hit into right field when he takes that slider away. Back up to middle, and it hit off of the mound, helping Dozier, or that may have gone into center field. Dyson to third, but 2 out now. When it hit off the mound, it slowed it up just enough.
Yeah, you're right. But still, Dozier did a nice job of keeping that ball in front of him, making sure it didn't get through him, using his chest, knocking it down and throwing him out. Good play.
Royals with 1 more chance. It's Whit Merrifield, who is 2 for 4 today. A pair of singles, 1 to left, 1 to center. Strike 1. Marte popped up. Dyson doubled. Escobar grounded out. Gerard alone at third. One and two. Royals down to their final strike.
Wynn had a good swing on that slider and he left it up.
Two balls, two strikes. Twins with 7 runs on 12 hits. Royals 5 runs on 11 hits. Three and two. Love to keep the pressure on for Lorenzo Cain, who struck out last time in a clutch situation, but 6 for his last 12 with runners in scoring position. And Cain hopeful that the kid can reach. Struck him out. The Royals do go 4-2 on this road trip to Chicago and Minnesota, and now they'll host the first place White Sox. We come home. We'll be right back.